Okay, everybody, let's talk about plant mail disappointment because it's a real thing. So, first off, I just want to say I know I just did a video about an online or a mail in plant order that I just got, and this is not that seller. Rick is amazing. His order was beautiful, immaculate, perfect. I would order from him again. In fact, I'll link his Facebook group for you guys so that if you want to order Hoyas, you can look into that. I've ordered from him more than once and it's always the same. It's great. So I ordered from someone else because I couldn't find this one particular Hoya anywhere except there. And I just kind of wanted to chat about plant mail disappointment because it happens from time to time. And then I also wanted kind of your input. So if you think, you know, I'm overreacting, or you're like, no, 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 that is definitely matches with what you saw online, let me know. I'm open to that feedback as well. And then I'd also like to hear from you guys on what plant shops you like to order from online, you've had great experiences from. So if you have ordered online, particularly for Hoyas, but really for anything, feel free to share that seller in the comments so that we can all, keep sharing the really good sellers because they deserve to have their name shared. So I will show you the picture of the plant online and then I'll show you what I got. And I just want to say, I personally feel like it's not exactly, I mean, it's not supposed to be exact, right? It's like, hey, this is an approximate representation of the plant you will get. And so I know it's not supposed to be exact, but here we go. So I will share the picture of the plant when I was ordering online. And then here is what I received. Okay, so this is the plant I received, the Shepardii. I'm probably saying that wrong. But again, I couldn't find this hardly anywhere. They were all sold out. But I just feel like this, well, it seems to be larger than the plant pictured, which is always a bonus. Very excited when the seller under promises and over delivers. In fact, in my small business, that's what I prefer to do. I have a business that's unrelated to plants. So, but it's just gnarly looking. It looks like, it was a mother plant at some time and they sent me an old mother plant, which is fine. There's a lot to work with. But like I even already trimmed off some of like the really dead, like there was a lot of leaves that were snapped in half and looked like they had been for some time because they had scarred over like this. Um, so I just don't feel like it was sort of even close to what they had pictured, you know? Um, and also being a small business owner, I'm not going to jump to straight to giving a bad review online for a variety of reasons. Um, it has been 11 days. I've kind of been letting it marinate, see how I feel. I don't want to just email them or say anything without just kind of taking it in for a while. So, one of the reasons I wouldn't just give, a bad review right away is mistakes happen. They're not robots. They're not perfect, especially small businesses. I don't, I want to support small businesses. So that's reason number one. And piggybacking off of that, my first route would be to email them and say, kind of like, hey, I kind of feel like I got sort of not a rehab, like a dent and ding, like a uglies. You know how people have like an uglies sale on their plants? Um, how do you feel about the plant that you sent to me, and see what their like customer service is like. I've never ordered from them before, so I don't have any history to go off of. Um, and so as a small business owner myself, I also would prefer if I make a mistake, I have an oversight, I would prefer someone reach out to me. I'm always going to try and fix it. So personally, I don't like it when people just jump to giving like a 3-star review and just being like, meh. I feel like you need to contact the seller in whatever industry and say, hey, this didn't really work out. For example, I have a red light that I purchased last year, and I've used it, very infrequently, and the battery pack went out. And this just happened, and I emailed the seller, and they emailed me back right away, and they were like, blah, 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 gave me a solution. You can have a refund, you can have a similar product. It was great. And that's all I want. So, anyways, if you think that this is good enough and in comparison to the picture, let me know. I'm always, wanting to get the crowd's ideas. But if you agree with me, you can also let me know. I will not be naming the seller. If you try and name the seller in the comments, I will be deleting those because I said it's not to out them. It's just to kind of gauge, you know, was this? I'm just trying to get, my head around it if I'm have too high of standards or something. And then if you also have a favorite seller of yours that you've had great experiences with, even if they've messed something up but they fixed it, I'd love to hear that. So put that in the comments so we can all see who are really good sellers. Again, my favorites are Hoyas, but any plants. And that way we can keep spreading the good sellers are. But yeah, it happens. So, anyways, that is that. And I will see you guys soon.